the session. Khadijah's there in the background. There we go. So yeah, thank you everyone. Welcome to day 4 of our Meet the Regulators event in the West Midlands. And this is showcasing the Stoke-on-Trent and Staffordshire Growth Hub. And I'm pleased to introduce Rebecca Parker and Trish Reid from the Growth Hub, who are going to showcase it for us. So over to you.
Perfect. Thank you, Stuart. Good morning, everybody. So by way of introduction then, my name's Rebecca Parker. I'm Growth Hub Team Manager, so I operationally manage the Stoke-on-Trent and Staffordshire Growth Hub contract on behalf of the local Stoke-on-Trent and Staffordshire Growth Hub is one of 38 growth hubs around the UK that you may be aware of that have been established with the purpose of helping to unlock private sector growth through access to fully funded support, job creation and business growth programmes. We at the Stoke-on-Trent and Staffordshire Growth Hub team are a team of accredited and qualified general business advisors and specialists where we partner with over 150 referral partner organisations in the county, from the local authorities, university support programmes, mentoring support and peer networks and various others, but ultimately to support the growth of an SME and support job creation and in turn support the growth of our local economy. So the Stoke-on-Trent and Staffordshire Growth Hub is the core of support for SMEs of any size or sector, and we support businesses from start-up to international companies through growth and diversification and the life cycle of employees. We extend the reach and impact of national and local business support initiatives and funds through a successful referral and signposting system that enhances the effectiveness of business support infrastructure across our county. Ultimately, our Growth Hub then develops cooperation among national and local providers and encourages that cross-referral of our clients. The focal point of Staffordshire Growth Hub is our business support helpline, where a specialist business advisor will conduct an initial triage with a business, assess their initial needs, and then pass that over to an accredited business advisor that runs through a free, what we would call a business diagnostic, to help how we can best assist a business in reaching specific goals and objectives. So our specialists in the county are made up of a funding and finance specialist that can talk through capital and revenue schemes and alternative funding and finance, such as equity and debt finance, ultimately for their growth. We appoint a specialist HR advisor that supports on the life cycle of employees through recruitment, redundancy, disciplinary, contracts of employment, those kinds of things. We have a marketing specialist that advises on marketing strategy through blogs, social media, PR, and so on. And we also recently to the contract appointed a growth and recovery specialist, so high growth, that supports on strategy and recovery as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. We also signpost over to the Staffordshire Chambers of Commerce digital specialists. They're not in-house specialists on the Growth Hub team, but we utilise their skill set to support businesses on the digital transformation journey. So advising on IT infrastructure, unified comms, voice over IP systems, CRMs, bespoke software and those kinds of things. And ultimately, we then conduct what we would call the face-to-face diagnostic to identify the needs and signpost onto those referral partners that I mentioned. Stoke-on-Trent and Staffordshire Growth Hub have got a strong presence through social media channels, so LinkedIn, Twitter and Facebook, but alongside a really strong website presence with a dedicated COVID-19 support page, a resource hub. We also promote a diverse events calendar on there and a diverse webinar library. My colleague Trish, that I'll introduce later on through the session, she also puts together quite a comprehensive weekly newsletter and sends out daily bulletins to promote events and any sort of important comms that we need to communicate. So it's great to have the opportunity to introduce Stoke-on-Trent and Staffordshire Growth Hub to showcase all of the fantastic marketing and events activity we've been working on over the past sort of 12 to 18 months. And we wanted to use this opportunity not only to talk about who we are operationally and how we support the business, but also showcase the effectiveness of our reach by promoting the Growth Hub via our channels. So through the use of those social media platforms that I mentioned, but also our Growth Hub website, the business bulletins, the dynamic events calendar. We also recently We're approved for CPD accreditation, so we offer a lot of CPD accredited and certified workshops, and we promote those through the newly created resource hub as well. So just to go through some figures on the slides then that we're sharing with you on the presentation. So I think this is a reporting period of April 21 to December 2021. So it just highlights there that initial point of triage. We recorded just over 1,500 business helpline calls via the helpline facility. 517 email inquiries for businesses that are contacting us via email, and as a result of that, the high intensity output from that was a total of 418 diagnostics, so those conducted face-to-face meetings or via Teams and Zoom. This is a diagnostic table that we've produced that just kind of showcases, we're set by Bayes a target of around 13 diagnostics a month. So those high intensity meetings that we conduct with a business. And you can see there from that reporting period, right from April, that we sort of average around 25 to sort of 30 diagnostics. I will mention at this point that I took over the team management in November, so we've seen a steady increase there from November up until December. So some record number of outputs there of 64, again supported by our events essentially and our effective marketing and comms. January, the table has only just been produced, and actually we finished on 54 diagnostics. So we're producing some really strong numbers and offering quite comprehensive support. So just to summarise the figures then, so light intensity we would classify as a light touch, so a helpline telephone call, an email through to business inquiries, and we took a total of just over 2,000 light intensity support inquiries. The medium intensity was the diagnostics mentioned on the previous slide, so 488 of those. And over 1,000 referrals were made to those referral partners that we're linked into through Staffordshire, with an incredible just under 11,000 unique visitors to the Growth Hub website. So unique being people that have never actually interacted with us before, which means that we're growing our reach. So there's some staggering figures. So just going to share the annual marketing report with you and just talk about some of the campaigns that we've been working on recently. So in the reporting period of April 20, just going to take you back through the beginning of the pandemic, just to bring you up to speed as to why we've decided to work on our most recent campaign, and it kind of leads into the effectiveness of that. So during April 20 to March 2021, we worked on various campaigns as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. So the first one, Shop Safely in Staffs. The Growth Hub worked in partnership with local authorities in the county to help boost the economy through our hashtag Shop Safely in Staffs project. The initiative included video interviews with retailers and shoppers in a bid to drive and build customer confidence and encourage people back to the high street as the government lockdown eased. Businesses across the towns in Staffordshire showcased innovative measures to ensure that the safety of staff and customers while shoppers and they were able to shop safely in Staffs, where we reported just under 146,000 campaign views and 22,500 website user views during that period, which was incredible. We then launched a further campaign, Enjoy Staff Safely, in a bid to bring tourism and leisure and hospitality businesses together to showcase what the county has to offer, in line with a national campaign designed to bolster the industries as lockdown restrictions eased. We achieved a really wide media reach through the Stoke Sentinel, Signal Radio, the Moorlands Radio, and the showcase video on this campaign had 140,000 views. We then later worked in partnership with the Staffordshire Business Environmental Network and further developed a small series of sustainability workshops under the theme hashtag Sustainability in Staffs, which was a great success. And then we led on to a new campaign, hashtag Do Digital, which was a campaign developed at the suggestion of the local enterprise partnership in a bid to provide Staffordshire SMEs access to digital transformation support. We devised a separate events calendar with its own brand identity and worked to deliver over 24 specific digitally themed topics with over 200 delegates that we presented to, and we handed that over to the Chamber of Commerce digital specialists. I then wanted to devise a new campaign that would simplify the proposition of the Growth Hub, and then later launched at the back end of last year, #EvolvingEnterprise. So we position this at enterprising businesses across Stoke-on-Trent and Staffordshire, so effectively our target market, that we're looking to stabilise and plot a growth curve in 2021 that could be eligible for a package of unique services to help fuel their ambition and recovery. The new initiative that we launched brought together the fully funded support for eligible SMEs, and it delivers the 12-hour of business support expertise that we offer, and ultimately it delivers our outputs. We position this as a 3-stage process via the business helpline as the initial triage that I mentioned, so where the SME would make that initial contact with a specialist advisor via the helpline, followed by a one-to-one diagnostic with one of our accredited business advisors. And then the business could then go on to access a package of specialist support, tapping into the knowledge from one of our specialist advisors that I mentioned, so HR, marketing, international trade, growth and recovery, etc. And ultimately to power their ambitious growth plans. And ultimately it was designed to deliver, like I say, our 12-hour output target. So just going to play the video for you that just showcases Evolving Enterprise, which is still an ongoing campaign to promote the Stoke-on-Trent and Staffordshire Growth Hub services. So I hope you'll agree, not only does that showcase really quite nicely and simplify the Growth Hub proposition by making that initial contact for the triage and wrapping that around our specialist advisors, but it also showcases the unparalleled levels of support that we provided throughout that period. The campaign's still a really good ongoing success, and during this period we gained CPD membership status that allows us to accredit all of our workshops, webinars and seminars. That gives our events credibility, and it attracts delegates, instilling confidence in returning to face-to-face sessions, and it gives them points towards their continuous professional development and certification. We're really proud of the latest campaign success, #Gearing for Growth 2022, which is a brand new campaign still in its infancy. You may well have seen this via our social media channels and so on. As I took over the 10,000 calls to the business helpline alone during the height of the pandemic, and not only the volumes of emails and one-to-one consultations that the previous video highlights, a total of 18,000 contacts through Stoke-on-Trent Staffordshire Growth Hub, then shaped my thought process into developing something that would provide businesses access to support and celebrate the resilience and their growth aspirations throughout 2022. So it was very much a concept that myself and my colleague Trish developed. We wrote an initial brief to commission a PR agency, and I've handed the entirety of that campaign over to my colleague Trish to work and manage to deliver. And I work with her to oversee that. And as she's done such an incredible job of #Gearing for Growth 2022, I'll hand to my colleague Trish and she can showcase the effectiveness of that campaign and its reach.
Brilliant, thank you, Becky. So again, like Becky's just said, the Gearing for Growth campaign is something that we are really proud of. It's something that has only recently launched and is still very much in its infancy, but we've had some really incredible traction already. So my name's Trish Reid, so I'm the Trainee Events and Marketing Coordinator for Stoke-on-Trent and Staffordshire Growth Hub. And before I delve into the campaign any further at the moment, I've just provided a quick overview of the social media presence that Becky mentioned earlier. So this is roughly from April 21 to December 2022. April 22 to December 2022. No, I'm wrong again. April 21 to December 2021. The year's always confusing when we move over. So roughly we had around 489 posts on Facebook, which realistically is slightly low, but this was a new platform that we had to create. So we didn't originally have a Facebook page at the time. So we created this one. We then also have the LinkedIn page, which, as you can see, does receive far more traction than what the other pages do, but that's quite an established platform as such. So we've run this for quite a while and we've never had to really do make any changes to this one as such. And naturally, this is a business-led platform, so we automatically assume that we would receive more traction in this area. And then there's just some examples of the Twitter posts that we've recently posted, some of the engagement numbers and the retweets and likes, which is brilliant. So we also run the Peer Networks programme through Stoke-on-Trent and Staffordshire Growth Hub and Staffordshire Chambers of Commerce. And I recognise that we did need some promotion for this sort of programme. So we collaborated with the National Business Support Helpline to use their Twitter to expand our reach further. So we hosted a live Q&A where we just asked questions and posted those all over social media to allow people to receive any answers that they might have for that programme and hopefully increase registrations, which did actually lead to another 5 cohorts being launched. So this is just the Gearing for Growth launch video for the campaign. So I'll just show you this first and then I'll delve into it a bit further. Gearing for Growth 2022 campaign was an initiative established by myself and Becky as we recognised the need to give Stoke-on-Trent and Staffordshire businesses access to a range of service and support programmes, but with a focus on scale up, promoting opportunity and job creation to support with the county contribution towards the sustainable development goals, including the growth of Staffordshire's wider economy. So with the aim to celebrate the resilience of Staffordshire businesses and support their growth moving forward into 2022, we focused the Gearing for Growth 2022 campaign on providing access and promoting the Small Business Grant Scheme, the Investment Readiness Programme, the Growth Mapper tool, and using our CPD accredited workshops and webinars to create an events calendar specifically for this campaign again. So obviously we're then looking to continuously promote the Growth Hub's core services and support. Collaborating with a number of partners, as you can see, we've detailed a number of them here. The campaign includes a diverse range of specialist subjects of wide appeal to SMEs, including a value proposition series, bid writing techniques, emerging technologies, leadership, and access to grant funding and alternative finance. So the campaign launched on the 17th of December 2021 and has already received some really impressive interest. We're now actually on 111 subscribers to our specific Gearing for Growth 2022 audience. We created this to capture the data specifically just to enable all of the people that were interested in this campaign as such to find out any further information on these topics as and when they came about. And as you can see, there's already been a testimonial provided by one of the delegates just to say how much she enjoyed the series and how she found that it's really helped her and her business moving forward. So with around nearly 7,500 overall clicks via our communications only up until the 31st of January already, and 8 bespoke bulletins distributed, we've got a number of topics further coming up. And as you can see, we've accredited already 13 delegates. That's not to include the one that I sent off for yesterday. And then we have another CPD accredited webinar coming up soon. So the web page views relating sort of to the Gearing for Growth campaign, it's actually enabled us to promote the general Growth Hub offering further. So the main campaign page has already received 303, and the campaign itself has actually led to, like I mentioned earlier, 5 successful peer networks cohorts have launched. I believe this has now actually gone up to 6. We've had procurement opportunities within our Research Hub page. Their views have doubled, and we've had a record month of diagnostic outputs, which was December 2021, as Becky detailed earlier. And we've also had 8 investment readiness programme applications, with 2 awarded and 6 still currently in the appraisal stage. This just details some of the press coverage that the Gearing for Growth 2022 campaign has had. So it was featured in the Stoke Sentinel, the Uttoxeter Echo, Business Desk, which again we're really, really proud of. And again, just detailing some of the social media coverage that we've offered with this. And then the social media posting, we've actually kept an eye on this campaign specific, whilst also obviously analysing our general social media postings. But with the PR agency sort of manning this as such, we have asked them to provide some information on what our campaign has actually led to. And again, as you can see here, the impressions and the engagement has been absolutely brilliant. Following the Omicron grant launch, also we actually decided that it was prudent to create a Gearing for Growth in Hospitality webinar specifically for those sectors that were able to have these grants. We always like to be reactive when any important sort of communications come out, as Becky mentioned earlier. So this is just the flyer that we actually had for the promotion. And this was launched on the 18th of January with 1,522 impressions already. So whilst it was launched it was launched roughly a week before we actually ran this webinar. So the traction that we've had for this has actually been brilliant. And then again, just detailing some of the social media for that, the statistics and some of the press coverage and social media coverage that we've had again. And then just sort of to finalise off, the Gearing for Growth 2022 campaign will actually end with a celebration event that takes place at the Boathouse on Aston Marina in Stone on the 28th of March, and we'll obviously be inviting relevant partner organisations as exhibitors so the delegates can speak to them there and then to find out any other information. All of the advisors through the Stoke-on-Trent and Staffordshire Growth Hub specifically will be available, both general and specialist. There'll be a number of case studies that we run following this to then continue the promotion of the Growth Hub, and there'll be a presentation of the campaign success with IRP applications available also. And we do plan to hopefully get this CPD accredited so that anyone that attends can add these hours to their CPD and continue professional development. And then we just wanted to say a massive thank you for having us today. I don't know whether you've got anything else you wanted to mention, Becky, before we go.
No, nothing specific to mention. I think we're quite unique as Stoke-on-Trent and Staffordshire Growth Hub in a sense that we tend to utilise the ability to create campaigns to promote our services, and as Trish mentioned, as to provide quite a reactive, proactive support service. So we're perhaps a little bit different in terms of how we offer our support provision, but hopefully we've showcased some stats that again are quite impressive, and it seems to be a really positive and impactful tried and tested methods. So no, happy to take any questions. Yeah, thanks, Stuart. Thank you for having us.
No, you're very welcome. Thank you very much. A really interesting presentation. And I think some of the things that you've showcased today, the videos and the stats and everything, I think a lot of sort of local authority regulators certainly could learn from that. It's measuring what your activity is, what your success is, and obviously help steer things going forward. And I know personally, I a long time ago subscribed to the newsletter, and that's again a really high quality email that you get with all of the offers and events that you're running. So I know how active you are in Stoke and Staffs. Has anyone got any questions while we still have people here? There you go. A hand up in the chat, Karen.
Hi there. Just really wanted to introduce myself. I'm the Trading Standards Manager at Stoke Council, and we work very closely as a public protection team across environmental health and trading standards. And it was just sort of how maybe we could perhaps better link in, because obviously we have a lot of business contact every year in our regulatory role. So keen to see how we could support awareness of your sort of campaigns and events and how businesses can access, and also if there's a mechanism maybe we could explore where if we wanted to communicate something important to business. Obviously we do have a business newsletter that's produced. Not sure whether that's something that you will get automatically through other channels, but yeah, just keen to see how maybe we could link in to support one another a little bit more than maybe we have done.
Yeah, agreed. Thanks, Karen. No, I think it'd be probably quite useful for both parties then if we were maybe to arrange a meeting with myself, Trish, and yourself and your team. And let's just see how we can explore any ways to collaborate further. I'm sure that we could perhaps explore routes to promoting your services via our website and various other links via the newsletter that we send out. We're linked to your wide city council sort of comms team. So again, likewise, we can kind of inter-refer via those. We do take trading standards calls via the business helpline. So again, it would be good to maybe have a catch up and perhaps discuss how we're fencing those initial inquiries, or if there's anything else we can do to be more effective. But no, maybe this is something we could just take offline then and arrange a meeting, like I say, and decipher a more effective way forward, Karen.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks. Yeah, thank you. Nice to meet you both.
Lovely to meet you too. And we'll obtain your contact details and perhaps we could arrange a coffee.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
That's brilliant, Karen. I think I've got your email, so I can introduce you both to each other. But that's perfect. That's kind of what this whole week of events is about, helping regulators and growth hubs connect, understand what each other's do. So thank you very much for that, Karen. There's no other questions in the chat. Obviously, hopefully a lot of people will also see this recorded version when it's posted on our YouTube channel. And Becky and Trish, their details are in on the slides, I think. But if anyone has any questions, please get in touch with us at OPSS and we can signpost you to the right people. But again, thank you very much, both of you. It was a really good presentation. Some really high quality videos and stats and everything that you produced. So it was really interesting. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Stuart.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Stuart.
your comments. No, it's great to be invited. So thanks for your support.
Thanks very much. I think we can stop the video now, Khadija.